Hello everybody, especially water, which includes Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces for March 31st, last day, to the 6th of April 2019. And I'm Elisha Keating from WisdomSeekers.net. We're a really good group of readers. Come check us out. And so what is it for this week? What's going to happen for us this week? The first card I pulled was Respect Your Boundaries. And that's not a limitation, actually. It sounds like a limitation, but when you respect your boundaries, you work within the framework that is yours, and then you can learn everything within it. If you go beyond, then there's a lot more to learn. And if you go beyond and it is somebody else's domain, then you take away their right to learn, or you impede your ability to learn and their right to learn. So there's many reasons why you want to respect your boundaries, but mostly it's so that you can learn what you need to learn within the parameters that are yours. And the first card for water it's an interesting one. It's the Emperor. The Emperor, well, he is the master of many countries, not just one. He's not a king, he's above a king. So it represents the last stage before you reach enlightenment. But even at the last stage, if you don't have balance, then you still have a lot to learn. In this case, I think it is the Emperor who is in creation of balance. He understands the need for equality in both male and the female. He understands how to listen. He understands how to give. So the energy of the Emperor this week is one of balance. It's one of slight detachment, which means you yourself, and I know that that's not good English, but yourself, you would like to stand back and observe and see what other people are doing. And because, well, first of all, it says observe your boundaries. I would suspect that people are moving outside of their boundaries this week, and it's just a week. So watch and see, observe, and there's a lot of work going on this week. But even with this Ten of Wands, who knows what's who's on the outside. It could be that she's right there to put down her load. So there's things happening, but you're not 100% sure what's happening, which is fine. We don't have to know everything all at once. I always read the last few chapters in a book, always, but you don't have to know. It is not an imperative. But what's behind us is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is an energy, is one that says cycles. The coming to the end of a cycle means, of course, the beginning of a new cycle. There's no endings without beginnings. So something ended, something's beginning. And right now you're observing, and it's always a great deal of work between the end and the beginning and the end of any cycle. So what is just below us? What have we just experienced for water? It's the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the master teacher. He studies, he teaches, but in my deck, a Spiral Tarot, he's also the master healer. And as I always say, the more you know, the more you can heal. So if you have problems in your physical, you can look to your physical to find out what in your mental or your emotional body, it's mostly the emotional body, though quite often it'll start in the mental body and come into the emotional body before it reaches the physical body. What in your body, in your bodies plural, were you needing to let go of, to deal with, to hang on with? For instance, last week, this area hurt very badly, in fact, and I couldn't figure out why, and I was trying to find out all these things. Finally, I went to Google and looked up Chinese medicine and what the lungs represent. And it was grief. And I realized I needed to let go of old grief. So I did. And it took 2 days. And my chest now no longer hurts. The heart chakra no longer hurts. And believe it or not, I can breathe deeper. So I prevented, it was starting to go into my physical. But hopefully I stopped the majority of that problem by dealing with the emotional. And it was old emotions. It wasn't new. It's something that had happened years and years ago, but I hadn't realized I hadn't dealt with it. So you can deal with your emotions. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel. And what happens just like tomorrow maybe, or in even an hour, Ace of Wands. You get a lot of support from your angels, your guides, your ancestors. They come down. They're going to burn away the dross, that which no longer is necessary in your life. It's like the burning bush. And when they do that, when the energy clears up, something fresh and new and beautiful is already in its place. You may not notice it immediately because probably you're still in the between stages. And the between stages of moving from the old to the new is like, I liken it to walking in a fog where you cannot see where to put your next footsteps, to what is in the future, and the world. And the world, this is the spiritual world, this is not the physical world. And you can see the blue energy all over the place. There's a tremendous amount of movement, shaking things up. There's also a lot of gifts coming your way. And as I said, because this reading is very similar to the other 2 readings I've already done, it seems that the energy is going to continue on the way it has for the last couple of weeks, which means things are going to shake up. They're going to do the boogie. But your gifts are being unwrapped. And so if you're already a strong empath, you're going to be a more strong empath. Does that mean that people are going to overwhelm you? Not if you figure out how to use it properly. And people don't realize just because you're an empath that I'm an extremely powerful empath, but I'm not bowled over every time somebody comes around with a bad energy, or I'm not ecstatic every time somebody comes around who's really high. Because I know which is my energy and which is theirs. And even when I can feel it. Well, sometimes people talk a lot and I can hear them. And I'm going, can you please just don't talk so much? But they're talking in the energy. So sometimes I do have to step back and, okay, enough. But you learn it's yours. The mind chatter is one of the things that tells you when it's yours or not. You just listen to your mind chatter, and if your mind is chattering a mile a minute, unless you're dealing with an old emotion that needs to be let go of, sometimes it belongs to other people. So look at that, and does that make sense to me? What I'm saying is to myself, does it make sense? Because often it doesn't. So, and then there are times when people will get really upset, and you can hear them, and they're just nagging. But it's not about you. It's about what they're dealing with. It's their interpretation of events. It's their blocks that they're fighting about. So it has nothing to do with you, though you may interpret it that way, it is actually nothing to do with you. So what's that going to bring us to? Well, as I said, the energy is going to continue to be clearing energy for a while. And we got again the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is cutting away piece by piece little bits of that which we have hidden, which we've shoved down and haven't wanted to look at. Like I said, my grief is at least 15 years old. You know, that was a long time ago by today's standards. So, but I wasn't ready to deal with it. So we'll cut a little bit here and a little bit there until everything's ready to surface. So you're going to be dealing with new information, a new energy, because you're going to let go of old stuff. Because the nature of horror is a vacuum, right? So what's going to come in when you clear out? Well, if you got a lot more crap, maybe more crap. But right now, according to the Lady Earth, you're going to get fresh energy and fresh knowledge, fresh everything. And according to the Knight of Wands, you're going to remember stuff from previous lifetimes. Not old stuff, not stuff that's not good for you. This is, wow, this is interesting, this is exciting. If you can see closely, can you see right there where my finger is? Looks like a very huge, beautiful castle. So lots of beautiful things are coming into your life. And the result is temperance. And temperance is, again, and it's what I've said all along, magic energy coming from higher vibrations into the lower vibrations, creating an inner strength and allowing the darkness to move back out of the way. So this week, yeah, I suspect it's going to be tough, but the result is beautiful. And the result is always beautiful. So remember the beauty and let go the, oh my God, that hurt energy, because, well, hopefully we're coming to the end of that. But until we do exactly come to the end of it, we have to do it a few times. And what is the last one? Well, remember your boundaries, because you don't want to take on more energy than is yours. And trust in the magic. And so you see, it's the crow or the raven, and the raven comes from the void, but the raven itself is neutral. The message he brings may be weighted from harsh to positive, and in this case it's really positive, because remember the magic, or trust the magic. And the magic is simply that which we haven't scientifically proven yet. A lot of it has to do with quantum theory, etc., etc. So, you know, if you think it actually occurs. Maybe not here in the physical yet. It's coming. Maybe if you think of an apple, not my idea. I am borrowing it from somebody else. It has been created in an area, and it has not yet come into your realm. But you go to the store and you see this beautiful apple and you say, I love that apple, and buy it. It's because you already created it. You created it when you chose to think about it, because we are quantum creators, which means it happens instantly. The only drawback we have is we don't instantly bring it into our hands. Well, maybe a few of you do. I'm not there yet. So this is going to be an exciting week. We're getting closer to true magic. And I wish you the very best. Namaste.